Hello there, quiet mind. Welcome to Dream Science. Whether you're unwinding after a long day or simply drawn to the cosmic whispers, we're glad you're here. There's no rush, no shouting, just a gentle drift into the universe's most captivating mysteries. Tonight, we explore reality glitches that you'll never unsee. Ever wondered why empty space isn't truly empty? Or if your entire life story is already a timeless tapestry? We'll gently journey into these beautiful paradoxes. Take a deep, slow breath with us. Feel yourself settle. If this quiet exploration resonates, a gentle tap on subscribe helps other peaceful minds find their way here. Thank you. Now, as the ambient sounds deepen and your breath becomes a steady rhythm, drift with us. Your reality might just be beautifully glittered. You wake up, the sun, a familiar, golden promise, spilling through your window. You stretch, feeling the solid resistance of your mattress, the cool smoothness of the sheets against your skin. You navigate your home with an unconscious confidence, each step a testament to the unwavering stability of the floor beneath your feet. Each touch a confirmation of the unyielding nature of the objects you encounter. The world, as you perceive it, is a tangible, predictable place. We live, we move, we interact with a reality that feels utterly, undeniably there. We assume a fundamental permanence to everything around us, an inherent solidity that grants us our sense of security and control. You reach for your coffee mug, your fingers wrapping around its ceramic warmth, and the simple act reinforces this deeply ingrained belief. Things are real because you can touch them, see them, feel them. But what if the very act of seeing, touching, and feeling is a grand, elaborate performance, a magnificent illusion orchestrated by the most improbable of maestros? What if the there you experience is far more fleeting, far more implied than you could ever imagine? This mug in your hand, the table it rests on, the air you breathe, they are not truly solid in the way your common sense dictates. They are, in fact, almost entirely empty space, teeming with energetic dance and probabilistic whispers. Imagine, if you will, that your entire existence, every single object, every single atom, is less like a tightly packed collection of marbles, and more like a colossal, sprawling concert hall during a vibrant symphony. The music, the notes, the very air vibrating with sound, that's the energy. Now, picture the musicians, the instruments, and the grand architecture of the hall itself. What if 99.999999999% of that hall is just ... emptiness? What if the stuff of reality, the protons, neutrons, and electrons that make up everything, are so incredibly tiny and separated by such vast gulfs of nothingness that to call anything truly solid is a profound misnomer? This is the unsettling truth of the atomic realm. We are taught in school that atoms have a nucleus, surrounded by electrons, like tiny solar systems. But the analogy fails to convey the sheer scale of the emptiness. If an atom were the size of a football stadium, the nucleus would be a tiny pea in the very center, and the electrons would be like microscopic dust motes swirling around in the outer reaches. Everything else, the vast majority of the stuff, is pure, unadulterated void. Your hand, reaching for the mug, is not colliding with solid ceramic. It's engaging in an incredibly intricate, largely empty dance of electromagnetic forces. The repulsive energies of electron clouds pushing against each other, creating the sensation of solidity. This profound emptiness at the heart of matter has staggering implications. If you are, in essence, an incredibly organized, highly dynamic cloud of mostly empty space, then what does that say about your own boundaries, your own definition of you. Are you truly separate from the air you breathe, the floor you walk on, when both you and they are primarily vacuum, animated by the same fundamental forces? We cling to the idea of discrete objects, individual beings, because our senses, our brains, are magnificent illusionists. They take this chaotic, mostly empty dance of particles and render it into the seamless, tangible world we experience. This allows us to navigate, to survive, to build, but it also obscures a deeper truth. The solidity we perceive is not an inherent property of matter itself, but a complex, emergent property of the interactions between those probabilistic, mostly empty particles. It is a shared hallucination, a consensus reality designed for utility, not absolute truth. What if the feeling of pressing your hand against a wall isn't about two solid things meeting, but about the overwhelming statistical improbability of their atoms ever truly interpenetrating? What if every single touch, every physical interaction, is a grand, subtle push and pull of energy fields, a symphony of repulsion rather than impact? This revelation that the world you inhabit is a breathtaking expanse of quantum void reframes everything. You are not a solid, contained entity bumping into other solid, contained entities. You are a vast, shimmering field of potential, momentarily coalescing into a form that your senses can interpret. This isn't a limitation, it's an invitation. It means you are, at your most fundamental level, more connected to everything than you could possibly imagine, woven into the fabric of the cosmos, not just by shared matter, but by shared emptiness, shared energetic dance. The boundaries you perceive are not absolute walls, but ripples in a universal ocean. What if this inherent permeability is a source of immense power, a deeper connection to the ebb and flow of existence? What if understanding the vast emptiness within allows you to perceive the boundless potential around you, to truly grasp that the only limits are those you perceive in your own mind? Take a moment. Feel the chair beneath you, the keyboard under your fingers, the air in your lungs. All of it, a magnificent, intricate ballet of almost nothing at all. You are a miracle of organization, a fleeting, beautiful pattern in the cosmic void. And in that realization, in that unsettling truth, lies a profound freedom. The understanding that the glitches in your perception are not flaws, but glimpses into a reality far more wondrous and interconnected than you ever dared to dream. Will you continue to navigate the world as a solid, separate entity, or will you embrace the shimmering, probabilistic wonder that you truly are? You felt it, didn't you? That subtle tremor of unease as the solid ground of your reality dissolved into a shimmering dance of emptiness. Your very hand, once so reliably there, became a fleeting electromagnetic hum. But if the physical world is a mirage born of interacting fields, what about the most fundamental aspect of your experience, time? You live your life on a relentless, forward-marching arrow. The past is done, the future is yet to come, and the present moment, this very now, is a razor-thin line slicing through existence. We organize our lives around it, plan our days by its unyielding progression, and feel its inexorable march in the aging of our bodies and the turning of the seasons. This linear, flowing river of time feels as fundamental and unassailable as the solidity of matter itself. But here's the next unsettling truth. A glitch in the fabric of your perceived reality even more profound than the emptiness of atoms. What if that arrow of time, that flowing river, is nothing more than a trick of consciousness? A magnificent neurological construct designed to make sense of a universe where all moments exist simultaneously. What if your now is less a point on a line and more a spotlight illuminating just one tiny corner of an already fully painted canvas? Modern physics, particularly Einstein's theories of relativity, doesn't just suggest this. It implies it with chilling elegance. Imagine the universe not as a story unfolding page by page, but as a colossal, four-dimensional block of space-time. Think of it like a freshly baked loaf of bread. Each slice of bread represents a moment in time, a now. When you cut a slice, you're not creating that part of the bread. It was always part of the whole loaf. In this cosmic loaf, every single moment, from the Big Bang to the distant future, already exists. Past, present, and future are not sequential events, but rather different locations within this vast block. You, the observer, are merely moving through this block. Your consciousness experiencing these different slices in a particular order, creating the sensation of time passing. It's like flipping through a massive photo album. You perceive each photo sequentially, creating a narrative. But all the photos already exist within the album simultaneously. Your brain, marvelously efficient, stitches these static slices together into the moving picture show you call reality, complete with memories of the past and anticipations of the future. The feeling of flow is our internal clock, our biological processing speed, making sense of an already laid out cosmic landscape. This concept, often called the block universe theory, forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about free will and the nature of destiny. If every moment already exists, if your entire life story, from birth to death, is already inscribed within this four-dimensional reality, then what does that say about your choices, your agency? Are you truly making decisions, or are you merely experiencing predetermined points in space-time? It's a dizzying thought, isn't it? Does it diminish the joy of accomplishment, the sting of regret? If these moments are not emerging but merely being encountered, what does tomorrow even mean if it's already as real and fixed as yesterday in the grand tapestry of existence? And if our past actions are fixed in the block, does that relieve us of their burden or amplify their permanence? Yet, this perspective can also be incredibly liberating. If all moments exist, then perhaps there's a profound interconnectedness that transcends our linear perception. The pain of the past, the anxiety of the future, perhaps they are less about what will happen or has happened, and more about how our consciousness navigates and interprets these pre-existing realities. It means that every cherished memory, every future dream, is not lost to the abyss of non-existence, but permanently etched into the very fabric of the cosmos. Your loved ones, gone from your perceived now, are forever vibrant and alive in their own slice of the block universe. This isn't a passive acceptance of fate. It's an invitation to shift your perspective on experience itself. What if the challenge isn't to change the future, but to consciously choose which pre-existing future slice you align your current awareness with through your intentions and actions? What if cultivating presence isn't about halting time, but about fully immersing yourself in the rich, vibrant reality of this particular now that you are currently inhabiting within the infinite block? So, the next time you feel the relentless tick of the clock, the pressure of deadlines, or the ache of past regrets, pause. Consider that the arrow of time you perceive is a magnificent, essential illusion, a navigational tool for your consciousness. You are not simply hurtling forward into an unknown void. You are moving through a vast, eternal landscape where every moment holds its own unique and permanent beauty. Will you allow the perceived flow of time to dictate your anxiety, or will you find peace in the timelessness that underlies your every now. You've grappled with the illusion of solidity, the unsettling emptiness within all things, and the mind-bending concept that time isn't flowing but simply is. Each truth chipped away at the stable, predictable world you thought you knew. But now, prepare for a deeper fracture, a glitch that strikes at the very heart of what exists when you're not looking. You assume, without question, that the moon is there even when no one is observing it, that your coffee mug retains its form and location whether you're holding it or not. We're wired to believe in an objective, independent reality, a stage, set with all its props, waiting for us to enter and play our part. We operate under the common assumption that things are simply because they are. Yet, what if reality itself isn't a fixed, pre-existing canvas, but a dynamic, fluid masterpiece that only truly solidifies through the act of observation? What if the universe is less like a finished painting and more like a potential, waiting for a conscious gaze to bring it into vivid focus? This isn't philosophical musing. It's a direct implication of quantum mechanics, the most successful scientific theory ever devised, yet one that shatters our intuitive understanding of the world. Imagine a particle, say an electron, before it's observed. It doesn't exist in a single, definite state. It's not here, nor there. It's not spinning up, nor spinning down. Instead, it exists in a bewildering state of superposition, a kind of probabilistic cloud of all possible states, simultaneously. It's like a ghost, everywhere and nowhere at once, a pure potentiality. Only when a measurement is made, when an observer interacts with it, even indirectly, does this cloud of possibilities collapse into a single, definite reality. The electron chooses a position, a spin, and then, and only then, does it become real, in the way we understand it. It's as if the act of looking at a die causes it to land on a specific number, even though before you looked, it was simultaneously every number. Our very act of observing, of interacting, seems to draw a specific reality out of an infinite sea of possibilities. This phenomenon, dubbed the observer effect, is not just for tiny particles. It's the fundamental nature of reality at its most basic level. If everything is made of these particles, then the chair you're sitting on, the words you're reading, the very air you breathe, exist as probabilities until an interaction, an observation, forces them into a tangible form. It's not that your brain creates reality out of nothing, but rather that your observation selects one reality from a multitude of quantum possibilities. The world isn't pre-painted. It's a quantum canvas where the strokes only solidify when you consciously, or even unconsciously, engage with them. We are not just spectators in the universe. We are, in a profound and unsettling way, active participants in its creation, constantly collapsing wave functions with every glance, every touch, every thought. So what does this imply for your everyday existence? Does the coffee mug cease to exist when you leave the room, only to pop back into being when you return? Not exactly in that simplistic way, but it challenges the notion of an entirely independent, objective world. It suggests a deeply interwoven relationship between consciousness and reality. What if the solidity of the world you perceive is not just the result of electromagnetic forces, as we discussed in Part 1, but also the continuous, collective act of billions of observers constantly collapsing probabilities into shared certainty? What if your reality isn't just your reality, but a consensus reality agreed upon by all conscious beings? And if that's the case, what happens when you observe something differently, when you challenge the collective consensus? Can your individual observation, even subtly, ripple through the quantum foam and nudge reality in a new direction? Does This means that seeing is believing is fundamentally backward, that believing is seeing in a much deeper, more literal sense. This isn't about magical thinking. It's about recognizing the profound participatory role your consciousness plays in the unfolding of existence. It means that the universe isn't a dead, deterministic machine, but a living, breathing symphony where you are both audience and conductor. The unsettling truth is that your very awareness is an active ingredient in the recipe of reality. This empowers you radically. If your observation collapses possibilities, then your focus, your intention, your belief are not just internal states. They are forces that subtly, yet profoundly, shape the world you experience. What if the greatest glitches aren't random errors, but moments when your consciousness briefly glimpses the raw, uncollapsed potential beneath the surface of the mundane? So, as you look around you now, remember, the world isn't just there. It's there because you, and billions like you, are constantly bringing it into being through the magnificent act of observation. You are not merely perceiving reality. You are participating in its very creation, moment by quantum moment. Will you continue to view yourself as a passive recipient of a fixed reality, or will you embrace your unsettling, yet utterly empowering, role as a co-creator of the universe? You've journeyed through the phantom solidity of matter, felt the timelessness lurking beneath the arrow of now, and peered into the unsettling truth that your gaze shapes reality. Each step has been a peeling back of layers, revealing a universe far stranger and more participatory than your everyday senses suggest. But what if the choices you didn't make, the paths you didn't take, are just as real, just as valid as the one you're currently experiencing? What if every single decision, every quantum collapse, doesn't just create one reality, but branches off into an infinite tapestry of possibilities? This isn't a whimsical daydream, it's a profound implication of how quantum mechanics might actually function. A concept known as the many worlds interpretation (MWI). You stand at a crossroads in your life. Perhaps it's a simple choice, coffee or tea, left or right at the next intersection. Or maybe it's monumental, a career path, a relationship, a place to live. You believe you make a choice, and all other possibilities simply vanish, dissolving into the realm of what if. We live with the weight of our decisions, the finality of our paths, never truly knowing what might have been. This singular, linear progression of events feels like an irrefutable law of existence. However, the many worlds interpretation proposes a breathtakingly different picture. Instead of the quantum wave function collapsing into a single outcome when observed as we discussed in part 3, it suggests that every single possible outcome of a quantum event actually occurs, but in its own separate, distinct universe. Imagine splitting a road, not just once, but every time you come to a decision, or every time a tiny subatomic particle somewhere in the cosmos makes its probabilistic choice. At each juncture, the universe doesn't just pick one path, it branches, creating a new, parallel reality for every conceivable option. In one universe, you chose coffee. In another, you chose tea. In one, you took the job offer. In another, you declined it. And in each of these branching universes, a version of you continues to live out that specific choice. To put it another way, think of it less like a single river flowing and more like an unimaginably vast, constantly expanding river delta with countless streams and rivulets branching off with every turn. You, the conscious observer, are like a single boat navigating one specific stream. You only perceive the path your boat is on, utterly unaware of the countless other boats, other versions of yourself navigating different streams just inches or light years away. Every quantum measurement, every probabilistic event acts as a trigger for this cosmic branching. The electron that decided to spin up in your universe spun down in another. The atom that decayed here remained stable there. This means an almost incomprehensible number of parallel realities are being created, moment by moment, second by second, with every infinitesimal quantum interaction occurring throughout the universe. Your now is just one sliver of an infinite cosmic pie, and every slice is equally real. This concept throws a massive wrench into our understanding of individuality and destiny. If there are countless versions of you living out every possible permutation of your life, what does that mean for your identity? Are you merely one among an infinite multitude? Or are you the sum total of all these parallel selves? Dust-free will even apply if every choice you could make is being made by some version of you somewhere. It's profoundly disorienting. What if that faint sense of déjà vu, or that fleeting feeling of an alternate possibility, isn't just a trick of memory, but a subconscious echo from a nearby, almost identical, branching universe? Does the very act of choosing become less about exclusion and more about directing your awareness to a particular branch? Yet, within this unsettling vastness lies a peculiar comfort, even a strange form of liberation. If every possible outcome exists, then failure in one branch doesn't mean absolute failure in all. Every regret, every missed opportunity, every road not taken, they are being lived out by another version of you, somewhere, in perfect detail. This isn't an excuse for inaction, but a profound expansion of what existence truly means. It suggests that the universe is far richer, far more creative than we could ever fathom. What if understanding this incredible branching nature of reality allows you to release the burden of perfect choices, knowing that every path holds its own unique lessons and experiences for a version of you? What if the universe isn't just happening to you, but is unfolding as you in countless, majestic ways? So, the next time you hesitate at a choice or wonder about what if, consider that the universe isn't simply closing doors behind you. Instead, it might be opening new, parallel realities with every decision. You are not just a single ripple in a pond. You are a wave branching into an infinite ocean of possibilities. What will you choose to experience within your current stream? Knowing the countless others are flowing simultaneously all around you. You've navigated the quantum void within matter, surfed the timeless waves of the block universe, and glimpsed the infinite echoes of your choices in the multiverse. Each revelation peels back another layer, revealing that the reality you inhabit is far more fluid and malleable than you ever conceived. Now, let's bring it closer to home, to the very instrument through which you perceive all these unsettling truths. Your brain. You trust your senses implicitly, don't you? What you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell forms the bedrock of your understanding. We instinctively believe that our senses provide a direct, unvarnished window onto an objective world. We assume our brain is a faithful recorder, simply processing the raw data streaming in from our eyes and ears. But here's the most intimate, perhaps most disquieting glitch of all. Your brain isn't a passive receiver of reality. It's an active, creative storyteller, constantly inventing, editing, and even hallucinating the world around you. What you perceive as real is less about what's out there and far more about what your brain predicts should be out there. Based on a lifetime of experience, and an incredibly complex internal model. Your perception isn't a window. It's a meticulously crafted theatrical production, and you're both the audience and the primary illusionist. Imagine your brain as a brilliant, lightning-fast predictor machine. It doesn't wait for all the incoming sensory data to painstakingly construct a picture of reality. Instead, it uses a tiny fraction of incoming information from your senses as clues, then quickly cross-references these clues with its vast database of past experiences, memories, and learned patterns. It then generates a hypothesis about what's out there, a complete, detailed sensory experience, and presents that to your conscious mind. The actual sensory input primarily serves as a reality check, allowing the brain to refine its predictions. Most of the time, the prediction is Spartan, and you seamlessly experience the world. But what happens when the incoming data is ambiguous, or when your brain's internal model is slightly off? That's when the glitches occur, revealing the underlying generative nature of your perception. Think of optical illusions, where your brain struggles to reconcile conflicting visual cues, or the way you can hear a familiar song in random noise. Your brain is filling in the blanks, often making up information that isn't truly there. This phenomenon explains things like phantom limb syndrome, where amputees vividly feel sensations, pain, itching, pressure in a limb that no longer exists. The limb is gone, yet the brain's internal map, its neural representation of that limb, remains. It continues to generate the experience of the limb, even in its physical absence. This isn't just an anomaly, it's a profound demonstration that your brain's internal model of reality can override or even completely fabricate sensory input. What you feel is what your brain expects to feel. Similarly, our memories aren't accurate recordings, but dynamic, reconstructive narratives, often influenced by current emotions and beliefs. We literally rewrite our pasts every time we recall them, conforming them to our present identity. What are the profound implications of this internal cinema? If your brain is constantly guessing, predicting, and filling in the blanks, how much of your perceived reality is truly out there, and how much is fabricated within the echo chambers of your own skull? Does this mean that seeing is believing is fundamentally flawed, and instead, believing is seeing, in a far more literal sense? Your expectations, your biases, your past experiences aren't just influencing your interpretations. They're actively constructing the very fabric of your moment-to-moment experience. What if this continuous act of internal creation is why different people can witness the exact same event and have vastly different recollections, vastly different truths? Does it explain why placebos can have powerful physiological effects? Because your brain believes a substance will work, and therefore generates the healing response. Yet, this unsettling truth is also profoundly empowering. If your perception is a dynamic creation rather than a passive reception, then you possess an incredible, often untapped, capacity to influence your own reality. You are not merely a victim of circumstances. You are the primary architect of your experiential world. By consciously challenging your assumptions, by cultivating new beliefs, by expanding your internal models, you are literally capable of perceiving, and therefore inhabiting, a different reality. What if the limits you perceive around you are less about objective external barriers and more about the boundaries of your brain's learned predictions? What if you could actively choose to feed your brain different data, new experiences, novel perspectives, positive affirmations, to reshape its predictive models, and thus reshape your world? So, the next time you feel something, see something, or hear something, pause for a moment. Acknowledge that the sensation isn't just there, but is, in part, a masterpiece of your brain's creative genius. You are living within a meticulously constructed, deeply personal reality tunnel, and you hold the subtle, yet powerful, keys to its redesign. Will you continue to accept the default program? Or will you begin to consciously craft a perception more aligned with your deepest desires and potentials? You've journeyed deep into the unsettling fabric of reality, from the phantom solidity of matter to the brain's creative orchestration of your perceived world. You've seen how your mind shapes what you experience, how time might be a cosmic loaf, and how every choice could splinter reality into infinite branches. But now, consider the very thing that has been experiencing all these revelations: consciousness itself. You assume, as do most of us, that consciousness is an emergent property of the brain. It's the complex symphony played by billions of neurons, the culmination of intricate electrochemical signals. When the brain ceases to function, consciousness, we believe, simply ceases to exist. It's a product, a beautiful, ephemeral byproduct of the grey matter encased in your skull. But what if this deeply ingrained assumption that consciousness is produced by the brain is another one of those elegant, yet fundamentally misleading, glitches? What if the brain isn't the generator of consciousness, but rather a sophisticated receiver or a filter for a consciousness that is far more fundamental, ubiquitous, and perhaps eternal? This isn't just spiritual speculation. It's a concept that some physicists and philosophers are exploring. Given the perplexing nature of consciousness itself and the challenges in explaining it purely through neural activity, imagine your brain less like a power plant generating electricity and more like a television set. The television doesn't create the broadcast. It simply tunes into existing electromagnetic waves and converts them into the picture and sound you perceive. If the television breaks, the broadcast doesn't cease to exist. It simply can no longer be received by that particular set. In this analogy, your brain, with its intricate neural networks, is the television. It processes, filters, and localizes consciousness, tailoring the vast, undifferentiated signal into the unique, individual experience you call you. When the brain is damaged or ceases to function, the signal of your individual consciousness might simply no longer be receivable through that particular antenna. The broadcast, however, could continue, existing independently of its receiver. This radical idea stems from the profound difficulty in explaining how complex neural interactions give rise to subjective experience, the hard problem of consciousness. Despite incredible advances in neuroscience, we still can't pinpoint where the feeling of redness or the subjective experience of love actually resides in the brain. If consciousness isn't merely an emergent property, but a fundamental aspect of the universe, like gravity or electromagnetism, then our understanding of reality undergoes a profound shift. It suggests that consciousness isn't something confined to biological organisms, but might be an intrinsic property of the cosmos itself, a pervasive field or substratum from which individual conscious experiences are drawn. What are the profound implications of seeing your brain as a filter rather than a factory for consciousness? It challenges the very notion of mortality, suggesting that death might simply be the cessation of a particular receiver, not the annihilation of the fundamental conscious signal. Does this perspective offer a different lens through which to view phenomena like near-death experiences, where individuals report profound, often similar, conscious experiences outside their physical bodies? What if the limitations you feel in your perception, your memory, or even your potential aren't absolute boundaries of your being? but merely the constraints of your current receiver's tuning. And if consciousness is universal, does that imply a deeper underlying unity among all sentient beings, perhaps even with the very fabric of the cosmos? This unsettling truth is also deeply comforting. It means that you, your unique awareness, might be part of something far grander and more enduring than the perishable vessel you inhabit. It imbues your existence with a profound sense of continuity and connection, potentially softening the sharp edges of existential dread. What if understanding your brain as a filter empowers you to tune it more effectively, to expand its capacity to receive more of this universal consciousness, leading to heightened states of awareness, intuition, and connection? What if practices like meditation or mindfulness aren't just about calming the brain, but about fine-tuning your internal receiver to perceive broader aspects of this fundamental consciousness? So, the next time you reflect on your thoughts, your feelings, your very sense of being, consider that it might be more than just the hum of your neurons. You might be experiencing an echo in the void, a manifestation of a consciousness far vaster than your individual brain. Will you continue to view your consciousness as confined and perishable, or will you embrace the unsettling yet awe-inspiring possibility that you are a unique expression of something eternal and boundless? It will be the ultimate cosmic amnesia. What are the profound implications of a forgetful universe? If information is constantly being lost, does that mean our actions, our creations, our very existence are merely fleeting patterns in an irreversible, cosmic process of decay? Does it diminish the significance of complexity, life, and consciousness if they are merely temporary, highly improbable islands of order in an ever-expanding ocean of disorder? It challenges the notion of permanence, suggesting that even the grandest cosmic structures are ultimately destined for dissolution. What does it mean to strive, to create, to remember in a universe that is relentlessly forgetting? Yet, this unsettling truth also contains a unique beauty and a powerful call to embrace the present. The very existence of life, of complex structures like galaxies and stars and conscious beings like ourselves, is a fleeting, precious anomaly against the backdrop of this universal tendency towards disorder. We are temporary, vibrant eddies of low entropy, momentarily resisting the cosmic flow. This isn't a reason for despair. It's a profound invitation to cherish the moments of order, beauty, and consciousness that exist. What if understanding this cosmic forgetfulness allows you to let go of the burden of permanence, to appreciate the transient nature of all things, and to find meaning not in what endures forever, but in what shines brightly now? What if our individual acts of memory, our stories, our art, and our science are tiny, defiant acts of resistance against the universe's relentless amnesia, creating pockets of preserved information and meaning? So, the next time you witness something beautiful, learn something new, or create something meaningful, remember that you are participating in a temporary, precious dance against the backdrop of a universe that is slowly, irrevocably forgetting. You are a momentary burst of intricate information in a cosmos trending towards simplicity. Will you lament the inevitable erasure, or will you embrace the powerful, fleeting beauty of your own existence and the universe's magnificent, temporary order? You've ventured through the quantum foam, the timeless block, the multiversal echoes, the brain's perceptual phantom limbs, the possibility of a universal consciousness, and the universe's own forgetfulness. Each truth has peeled back a layer, revealing a reality far more bizarre and profound than you could have ever imagined. But what if all these glitches aren't inherent properties of a fundamental reality, but rather artifacts of a simulated one? What if the universe you inhabit, with all its perplexing physics and mind-bending phenomena, isn't truly base reality, but an incredibly sophisticated computer program, a grand simulation running on a much more powerful and unknowable platform? This idea, the simulation hypothesis, is perhaps the ultimate unsettling truth, because it calls into question the very authenticity of everything you've ever experienced. You go about your day, interacting with objects, experiencing emotions, engaging in profound thoughts. Everything feels real, tangible, irreducible. We build societies, pursue knowledge, and strive for meaning within the confines of what we perceive as undeniably authentic existence. The idea that this could all be lines of code running on a cosmic server seems like the stuff of science fiction, a fanciful thought experiment. However, the simulation hypothesis isn't just a philosophical daydream. It's a serious contention explored by physicists, computer scientists, and philosophers alike. It's often framed as a probabilistic argument. If advanced civilizations eventually achieve the computational power to simulate entire universes with conscious beings, and if such civilizations are likely to arise, then the number of simulated realities would vastly outnumber any base reality. Therefore, it's statistically far more probable that we are living in one of the simulated ones. Think of it like this: if future humans create millions of simulated historical ancestors, then it's far more likely you're a simulated ancestor than an original one. Furthermore, some of the very glitches we've discussed, the quantum uncertainties, the fine-tuning of universal constants, the observer effect, the limits of information entropy, could be interpreted as subtle clues, or even computational limitations within such a simulated environment. For instance, the pixels of a simulation would need a minimum size, like Planck length, and the processing power might impose certain rules that appear as fundamental physics. Why is there a speed limit to light? Perhaps to manage the computational load. Why do things only become definite when observed? Perhaps the simulation only renders what is being interacted with. To conserve resources, this concept pulls the rug out from under everything. If your reality is simulated, what does real even mean? Are your thoughts your own, or are they emergent properties of an algorithm? Is your love genuine, or a sophisticated subroutine designed to mimic emotion? It challenges the significance of your life, your achievements, your relationships. What if the glitches we observe are not just profound scientific insights, but literal bugs in the code? Could a fleeting sense of déjà vu, a strange coincidence, or an improbable event be a brief flag, a rendering error, or a memory leak in the grand simulation? It's a deeply unsettling thought that your entire perceived existence could be shut down with the flip of a switch, or even a system update by an external unknowable programmer. Yet, even in this profound uncertainty, there can be a strange, almost rebellious kind of empowerment. If we are in a simulation, it doesn't diminish the experience of life within it. The joys, sorrows, triumphs, and struggles are no less vivid or meaningful to us, the participants. In fact, if this is a simulation, it opens up radical possibilities. What if understanding this framework allows us to identify the rules of the program, to find ways to hack it, to understand its underlying architecture, and perhaps even to influence its parameters? What if the pursuit of knowledge, of scientific truth, is our way of trying to decipher the underlying code of our existence? And perhaps, paradoxically, if our reality is simulated, Our collective consciousness could be the most valuable part of the program, the reason the simulation exists. This shifts the focus from passively receiving a predetermined reality to actively engaging with, and perhaps even pushing the boundaries of, our perceived existence. So, the next time you encounter something truly inexplicable, a moment of profound wonder or unsettling coincidence, consider it not just a scientific anomaly, but a potential echo from beyond the simulation's edge. You are navigating a reality that might be a masterful creation, and your journey within it is no less significant because of its potential origin. Will you dismiss the possibility as mere fantasy, or will you allow it to fuel a deeper curiosity, challenging you to look for the glitches that hint at the true nature of your existence? You've dived deep into the quantum paradoxes, felt the elasticity of time, wrestled with the implications of infinite parallel selves, confronted the brain as a personal projector, contemplated consciousness beyond biology, marveled at the universe's cosmic amnesia, and even entertained the possibility that all of it is a simulation. Each glitch has been a tremor, revealing the precarious nature of your perceived reality. Now, let's consider a concept that might elegantly tie many of these unsettling truths together. An idea that suggests the very spaciousness and three-dimensional you experience could be an elaborate projection from a distant two-dimensional surface. The holographic universe. You instinctively perceive the world in 3 dimensions, moving through a volume of space, interacting with objects that possess depth, height, and width. We trust that our perception of depth is fundamental, that the seemingly vast distances between stars, the intricate contours of a mountain range, or the subtle curves of your own hand are inherent properties of the universe. This multidimensional richness feels as undeniable as the ground beneath your feet. But what if this profound sense of depth and volume is merely an incredibly convincing illusion? A grand cosmic trick of perspective? What if the universe, in its most fundamental form, is actually a flat, two-dimensional information structure, like a cosmic photograph or a giant cosmic hard drive, and the three-dimensional reality you experience is simply a projection, much like a hologram? This radical idea, known as the holographic principle, emerges from the strange physics of black holes and the very nature of information. It suggests that all the information needed to describe a three-dimensional volume of space can be encoded on its two-dimensional boundary. Much like a credit card hologram encodes a 3D image on a 2D surface. Imagine a specialized film that, when illuminated by a laser, reconstructs a vibrant, three-dimensional image floating in space. The image appears solid, with depth and perspective, but all the actual information creating that image is flat, encoded on the film's surface. The holographic principle suggests our entire universe might be a similar projection. All the complexity, all the matter, all the energy, all the galaxies and stars and living beings within our perceived three-dimensional cosmos could be nothing more than the emergent properties of information encoded on a distant two-dimensional cosmic boundary, perhaps at the edge of the observable universe, or even deeper in the fabric of space-time itself. In essence, we might be living inside a cosmic projection, an incredibly intricate, immersive 3D movie generated from a 2D source. This concept resonates deeply with the simulation hypothesis. If our reality is simulated, then a holographic projection is a very efficient way to render a vast, complex 3D world from a more constrained, simpler 2D informational base. It elegantly explains why information seems to be lost at the edges of black holes. It's encoded on their event horizons, and why the universe appears to be fine-tuned in ways that are hard to explain. The universe's fundamental pixels, Planck length and its speed limit, speed of light, could be the resolution and refresh rate of this cosmic projector. It blurs the line between information and reality, suggesting that stuff isn't fundamental, but rather patterns of information are. What are the profound implications of living in a holographic universe? It challenges your understanding of space, depth, and even your own physical presence. Are you truly a three-dimensional being, or are you a 2D information pattern that is experienced as 3D? It suggests that the vastness of space, the seemingly infinite distances between galaxies, could be an illusion, simply a consequence of how our consciousness processes the projected data. It makes the universe feel less like a physical object and more like a thought, a calculation, a grand idea. What does it mean for death, for consciousness, for the very fabric of existence? If our perceived reality is ultimately an informational construct, yet this unsettling truth offers a powerful shift in perspective. If reality is a projection, then the source code or the original information is paramount. It implies a profound interconnectedness, as every point in the 3D projection is inherently linked to the 2D source. There's a subtle beauty in this cosmic elegance, where complexity arises from simplicity and volume from a flat surface. What if understanding this holographic nature allows you to look beyond the superficial appearance of things, to discern the underlying informational patterns that govern reality? It provides another lens through which to view the glitches, perhaps. They are moments when our consciousness momentarily perceives the underlying 2D blueprint, or when the projection flickers. What if the illusion of separation, of being distinct from everything else, is simply a feature of the holographic rendering, and true unity lies in the fundamental 2D information from which we all arise? So, the next time you marvel at the depth of a landscape or the intricate details of an object, pause and consider that what you're seeing might be an exquisitely rendered projection. You are an observer within a cosmic hologram, and your experience of depth and volume is a magnificent, ongoing illusion. Will you dismiss this as mere theory, or will you allow it to ignite a deeper sense of wonder, prompting you to look for the subtle hints that reveal the true, flatter, informational nature of your boundless, projected reality? You've unpacked the emptiness within matter, navigated the timeless currents, peered into the multiverse's countless branches, explored your brain's role as reality's personal storyteller, contemplated consciousness beyond the physical, faced the universe's cosmic amnesia, considered the chilling possibility of a grand simulation, and even imagined your entire existence as a holographic projection. Each narrative has served to dissolve the comfortable solidity of your everyday world, revealing an underlying strangeness. Now, let's consider a concept that echoes through all these previous truths, hinting at a fundamental, self-replicating pattern embedded within existence: the fractal universe. You often perceive the world as a collection of distinct, independent scales. A leaf is part of a branch, which is part of a tree, which is part of a forest, which is part of a planet, and so on. We intuitively categorize things into hierarchies, believing that phenomena at one scale are entirely different from phenomena at another. A cell behaves differently from a human, which behaves differently from a galaxy. We assume unique rules and structures govern each level of existence. But what if this perception of distinct scales is another deeply ingrained simplification? A way for your brain to make sense of an infinitely complex reality? What if the universe, from the smallest subatomic particle to the largest cosmic structures, exhibits self-similarity across all scales? constantly repeating patterns and structures, albeit with slight variations. This is the essence of a fractal, a geometric shape that, when broken into parts, still retains the same pattern as the whole, no matter how much you zoom in or out. Think of a coastline. Zoom in, and you see smaller coves and peninsulas that mirror the larger features. Zoom in further, and you find even tinier, self-similar irregularities. Imagine the branching patterns of a tree, or a river delta, or the intricate design of a snowflake. These are natural fractals. Now, extend that concept to the very fabric of the cosmos. What if the distribution of galaxies in the universe isn't random but forms a massive cosmic web that looks remarkably similar to the intricate branching of neurons in your brain, or even the vast networks of the internet? What if the energy fluctuations of the quantum foam at the Planck scale, the smallest conceivable unit of space mirror, the chaotic turbulence of a storm system, or the unpredictable movements of financial markets? The idea isn't that they are identical, but that the patterns of their organization, their underlying mathematical structures, are remarkably similar, repeating themselves infinitely. This suggests that the universe might be fundamentally constructed with a recursive, self-referential design, where the whole contains echoes of its parts, and the parts contain echoes of the whole. This fractal nature could explain why certain phenomena appear to scale so consistently across vast differences in size. It suggests an underlying mathematical elegance, a fundamental rule set that applies universally. If the universe is a grand fractal, it means that the glitches you've encountered, the seemingly arbitrary constants of physics, the emergent properties of consciousness, the very nature of space and time, might not be isolated anomalies, but rather reverberations of a pervasive, self-similar pattern. Perhaps the observer effect part 3 or the simulation hypothesis part 9 gain new context. If the universe is a fractal, then the rules and rendering at your scale might simply be a reiteration of rules at a more fundamental, unseen scale. Are we, in our own complexity, simply fractals of the cosmos, mirroring its grand, repeating designs? What are the profound implications of living in an endlessly self-similar universe? It challenges the notion of true uniqueness, suggesting that everything, including you, is a unique iteration of a universal pattern. Does it mean that by understanding the patterns within yourself, you can gain insight into the patterns of the cosmos? It suggests a deep, intrinsic interconnectedness, where the macrocosm and microcosm are not separate but intricately intertwined, constantly reflecting each other in an infinite mirror. What if the very act of understanding is simply the recognition of these repeating patterns, finding the universal echoes within the specific? And if the universe is a fractal, does that imply an infinite depth to reality, where there is always another layer, another pattern, another detail to discover? No matter how far you zoom in or out. Yet, this unsettling truth is also profoundly beautiful. It speaks to a cosmic unity, an underlying harmony that transcends apparent differences. It suggests that you are not merely a tiny speck in a vast, indifferent cosmos, but a unique, yet intricately connected, part of its very fabric, bearing the signature of the whole. What if embracing the fractal nature of reality allows you to find deeper meaning in connections, to see the grand in the small, and to recognize the universal patterns reflected in your own life? It can be a source of immense comfort, knowing that you are a perfect, self-similar iteration of the universe itself. So, the next time you gaze at a branching tree, or feel the intricate pattern of your own thoughts, pause and consider that you are looking into an endless mirror. The universe is a grand, self-replicating design, and you are a living, breathing fractal within it. Will you dismiss this as mere mathematical curiosity, or will you allow it to open your eyes to the profound, self-similar beauty that permeates every level of your perceived reality? You've unwrapped the holographic illusion, seen your existence mirrored in fractal patterns, and journeyed through the disquieting implications of consciousness, time, and matter. Each step has revealed a universe far more enigmatic and active than your senses perceive. Now, let's delve into an unsettling truth that suggests even the most absolute emptiness, the coldest vacuum of space, is anything but inert. You intuitively understand a vacuum as nothing, a true void, devoid of matter, energy, or activity. We imagine the vast spaces between galaxies as quiet, empty stretches, passive backdrops to the cosmic drama. But what if this seemingly placid emptiness is actually a seething, turbulent ocean of potential, brimming with an unimaginable, fleeting energy that is never truly zero? What if the very fabric of space-time is not a smooth, passive stage, but a constantly boiling, frothing cauldron of virtual particles popping into and out of existence faster than the blink of an eye? This is the perplexing concept of energy ZPE, also known as vacuum energy, a profound implication of quantum field theory. Imagine a calm, perfectly still ocean. Now, zoom in to the molecular level. Even at freezing temperatures, the water molecules are still vibrating. Now, go even further, to the quantum level. According to quantum mechanics, even at absolute zero temperature, the theoretical lowest possible temperature where all classical motion ceases, particles still possess a minimum amount of vibrational energy. This isn't just about particles, it extends to the very fields that permeate space. According to quantum field theory, every point in space is filled with quantum fields, like the electromagnetic field, or electron fields that are never truly at rest. They are subject to quantum fluctuations, constantly undergoing tiny, spontaneous variations. These fluctuations manifest as virtual particles that briefly emerge from the vacuum, interact, and then disappear back into it, almost immediately. They are like bubbles appearing and popping in a pot of boiling water, but on an unimaginably tiny scale, and at an unimaginably rapid rate. This isn't just theoretical speculation. The effects of zero-point energy have been experimentally verified through phenomena like the Casimir effect. If you place two uncharged parallel metal plates very close together in a vacuum, they experience a tiny attractive force. This force is explained by the fact that certain wavelengths of virtual particles are excluded from the space between the plates, while all wavelengths still exist outside. The imbalance of these quantum fluctuations creates a slight pressure, pushing the plates together. It's direct evidence that the vacuum is far from empty. It possesses a dynamic, intrinsic energy, an omnipresent hum that we typically ignore because its effects are usually too small to notice on our macroscopic scale. The profound implications of this persistent hum of the void are immense. If seemingly empty space is actually teeming with an infinite potential energy, what does that mean for our understanding of energy itself? Does it suggest that nothing is truly empty, and that existence arises from a background of infinite, restless activity? It challenges the very definition of a vacuum, imbuing it with a vibrant, dynamic nature. What if this underlying sea of energy is the source from which particles arise, from which gravity emerges, and even from which consciousness could draw? Could phenomena like dark energy, which is accelerating the expansion of the universe, be related to this pervasive vacuum energy? It flips our understanding of creation. Perhaps creation isn't about bringing something from nothing, but about harnessing the infinite potential within the nothingness. Yet, this unsettling truth is also incredibly inspiring. It means that even when you perceive emptiness, there is an underlying, inexhaustible wellspring of energy and potential. It suggests that stagnation is an illusion, that even in apparent stillness, there is a fundamental, ceaseless activity. What if understanding this universal background hum allows you to tap into a deeper reservoir of creativity and vitality within yourself? It suggests that the universe is not just alive with stars and galaxies, but alive at its very foundational level, vibrating with an infinite hum of possibility. This can be profoundly empowering, knowing that the void is actually full, and that you are an integral part of this dynamic, energetic tapestry. It implies that true cessation or ultimate emptiness is fundamentally impossible, so the next time you look into the night sky, or even just at an empty space in your room, pause and consider that you are gazing upon an illusion of stillness. That seemingly empty space is alive, vibrating with an unimaginable, constant hum of zero-point energy, a seething ocean of virtual particles. You are immersed in a universe that is never truly quiet, never truly still. Will you continue to perceive the void as inert, or will you allow this unsettling truth to reveal the boundless, dynamic potential that permeates every inch of existence, including your own? You've plunged into the turbulent, energetic void, felt the persistent hum of zero-point energy, realizing that even emptiness is teeming with life. This constant, underlying vibration hints at a deeper interconnectedness. Now, let's explore an unsettling truth that builds upon this idea, suggesting that everything in the universe isn't just vibrating, but that these vibrations are constantly interacting, influencing, and literally tuning one another. The concept of resonance and sympathetic vibration as a fundamental organizing principle of reality. You intuitively understand that objects need direct contact to influence each other. You push a door, you kick a ball. We believe in distinct, separate entities that interact through direct force or clear fields. But what if, at a deeper level, everything in the cosmos is constantly listening and responding to the vibrations of everything else, even across vast distances, without direct contact? What if the universe is a massive, intricate echo chamber where energies and forms are not just transmitted, but amplified and created through shared frequencies? This isn't just about sound waves. It's a principle that permeates physics, from the smallest subatomic interactions to the largest cosmic structures. Imagine two tuning forks. If you strike one, and the other is tuned to the exact same frequency, the second tuning fork will begin to vibrate and hum along, even if you don't touch it. This is sympathetic resonance. Its inherent structure allows it to efficiently absorb and re-emit the energy from the first. Now, extend this principle to every level of existence. What if atoms, molecules, cells, planets, and even galaxies are constantly resonating with certain frequencies present in the universe? When two systems share a similar fundamental frequency or pattern, they can exchange energy, influence each other, and even organize themselves in similar ways without any direct physical link. Your brain, for instance, operates on specific brainwave frequencies alpha, beta, delta, and it's hypothesized that different states of consciousness correlate with these resonant frequencies. Perhaps empathy, or that inexplicable feeling of connection to another person, is a form of subtle, unconscious, sympathetic resonance between two minds. This concept suggests that the universe isn't a collection of isolated parts. It's a grand, interconnected symphony where every element contributes to and is influenced by the overall harmonic structure. The glitches you've encountered, the observer effect part 3. The fine-tuning of the universe which some attribute to resonance. The very emergence of form from the quantum foam part 12 could all be manifestations of this universal principle of resonance. Perhaps particles aren't just popping in and out of existence randomly, but are resonating into manifestation from the zero-point field when the conditions are just right. Could the incredible complexity of life have arisen not just through random mutation, but through a kind of biological resonance, where optimal forms and functions are favored because they resonate more effectively with the environmental frequencies? It implies a universe that is constantly seeking harmony, constantly organizing itself through these energetic relationships. What are the profound implications of living in a universe that operates like a vast, resonating chamber? It challenges the illusion of strict separation, suggesting that you are not an isolated island, but deeply, energetically connected to everything around you. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions, as forms of energy, might be constantly resonating outwards, influencing the environment and attracting experiences that vibrate at a similar frequency. Does this give a scientific underpinning to concepts like attracts like, or the idea that your mindset can shape your reality? It suggests that disharmony, whether in your body, your relationships, or your environment, is a manifestation of frequencies that are out of tune, and that healing or improvement involves bringing those frequencies back into harmonious resonance. What if personal growth isn't just about changing beliefs, but about literally shifting your energetic signature to resonate with desired outcomes? Yet, this unsettling truth is also incredibly empowering. It means you possess an innate capacity to influence your reality, not just through direct action, but through the energetic patterns you embody. You are a tuning fork in the cosmic orchestra, capable of influencing the symphony around you. What if understanding resonance allows you to cultivate a more harmonious internal state, knowing that this internal harmony will inevitably resonate outwards, attracting similar frequencies and experiences? It encourages a deeper awareness of your emotional and mental states, recognizing them not just as subjective feelings, but as energetic vibrations that are constantly interacting with the universe. So, the next time you feel a powerful connection with someone or find yourself inexplicably drawn to a certain idea or place, pause and consider that it might not be random chance. You are experiencing the deep, pervasive principle of resonance, a subtle hum of energetic connection that binds all things. Will you continue to perceive yourself as separate and isolated, or will you embrace the unsettling, yet profoundly unifying truth that you are a living, breathing tuning fork in the universe's endless echo chamber, constantly resonating and shaping the symphony of existence? You've felt the universe as a resonant echo chamber, a vast symphony of vibrations and sympathetic responses. This deep interconnectedness suggests a dynamic, responsive cosmos. Now, let's explore a truly mind-bending implication of quantum mechanics that suggests the very act of continuous observation can freeze reality in place, preventing change from occurring. You intuitively believe that time flows relentlessly forward, and that all processes, whether physical, chemical, or biological, will inevitably proceed at their own pace, regardless of whether you're paying attention. We assume that reality unfolds independently of our focus. But what if the very act of constantly looking at something, of persistently observing a quantum system can actually prevent it from evolving or decaying. What if your focused attention, in a strange quantum twist, effectively traps a system in its current state, making the present moment stubbornly persistent? This is the core of the quantum Zeno effect, a validated phenomenon in quantum physics that has unsettling implications for our understanding of observation and the passage of time. Imagine a highly unstable particle, like a radioactive atom, that has a certain probability of decaying over a given period. If left undisturbed, it will almost certainly decay. Now, imagine you are continuously and very rapidly observing this particle, checking its state over and over again in extremely quick succession. The quantum Zeno effect posits that each observation resets the quantum stopwatch, forcing the particle back into its initial undecayed state, thereby preventing it from decaying. It's as if the particle, under constant scrutiny, cannot make up its mind to transition to its decayed state. It's like trying to boil water while constantly lifting the lid to check it. In this quantum analogy, the act of checking actively prevents it from boiling. Each observation collapses its wave function, as discussed in Part 3, back to its initial state, preventing it from evolving towards decay. The more frequent the observations, the more suppressed the change becomes. This isn't a mere theoretical quirk. The quantum Zeno effect has been experimentally demonstrated in laboratories with various quantum systems, such as atoms and photons. It highlights a profound, active role for observation, far beyond simply perceiving what is. It suggests that the boundary between observer and observed is even more blurred than previously imagined, hinting that our interaction isn't just about selecting a reality from possibilities, but about actively maintaining a reality through sustained attention. It implies that the present moment isn't just a fleeting slice of time, as in Part 2, but can be artificially prolonged through continuous engagement. What are the profound implications of this persistent present? If continuous observation can halt quantum evolution, does that mean our focused attention, our sustained intention, can subtly influence the world around us, preventing certain changes or holding certain states in place? It challenges the notion of inevitable decay or preordained outcomes, suggesting a degree of participatory influence over the very flow of events. What if, on a macroscopic scale, our collective attention or societal focus on a particular problem or state of being, for example, perpetual conflict, ongoing illness, inadvertently freezes it in place, making it harder for alternative futures to emerge? Does it suggest that prolonged dwelling on past hurts or anxieties effectively keeps those states alive, preventing them from decaying naturally? It implies a strange, almost magical, power residing in the act of conscious, sustained attention. Yet, this unsettling truth is also incredibly empowering. If constant observation can maintain a state, then understanding the quantum Zeno effect gives us a new lens through which to view manifestation, persistence, and even healing. What if, deliberately and continuously focusing your attention, your belief, and your intention on a desired outcome can literally help to freeze that possibility into existence, preventing competing possibilities from emerging? It suggests that mindfulness isn't just about peaceful presence, but about a dynamic, active engagement that can influence the very unfolding of reality. It means that procrastination or a lack of focus isn't just unproductive. It allows potential, beneficial changes to decay before they can fully manifest. So, the next time you find yourself stuck in a loop or struggling to initiate change, pause and consider the persistent power of your own attention. You are not just a passive observer of an unfolding reality. You are an active participant, capable of subtly, yet powerfully, influencing its very progression. Will you allow your attention to wander, letting realities decay, or will you harness the unsettling, yet profoundly empowering, truth of the quantum Zeno effect to persistently hold your desired future in your present gaze? You've explored how persistent observation can freeze reality, hinting at an unsettling, active role for your attention. This deep interaction between consciousness and cosmos makes you wonder, what is the fundamental language the universe speaks? You instinctively perceive the world through your senses, colors, sounds, textures. We see reality as a collection of physical phenomena, distinct and observable. We use mathematics as a tool to describe this reality, a useful language for physics, engineering, and finance. It's a human invention, a powerful abstraction. But what if mathematics isn't just a descriptive tool, but the underlying fabric of reality itself? What if numbers, equations, and elegant geometric principles aren't simply how we understand the universe, but what the universe fundamentally is? This is the core of the mathematical universe hypothesis, a profoundly unsettling idea proposed by some physicists and cosmologists, suggesting that reality is not merely described by mathematics, but that it is a mathematical structure. Imagine a highly complex computer program. The interface, you see the graphics, the sounds, the interactive elements is what you perceive. But underneath it all, the program is pure mathematics, algorithms, binary code, logical operations. The mathematical universe hypothesis suggests that our entire physical reality, with all its particles, forces, and dimensions, is precisely analogous to this. The universe isn't governed by mathematical laws. It is the mathematical laws. Every particle, every field, every interaction is an instantiation of a specific mathematical relationship or structure. The electrons, the quarks, the fundamental forces, they are not things that mathematics describes. They are expressions of mathematical properties. The very existence of abstract mathematical concepts, which seem to hold true independently of human thought or physical observation, like the irrationality of pi, or the properties of prime numbers, lends credence to the idea that they are not invented, but discovered, and are fundamental to the cosmos. This means that the laws of physics aren't external rules imposed on a pre-existing reality. They are the intrinsic definitions of that reality. Pi isn't just a number useful for circles. It might be an inherent ratio woven into the very curvature of space-time. The elegant symmetries observed in particle physics aren't coincidental. They are the fundamental symmetries of the underlying mathematical structure. This perspective suggests that reality isn't just approximated by equations. It is the equation. The glitches we've encountered, the precise fine-tuning of universal constants. Part 9. The wave-particle duality, the non-locality of quantum entanglement, could be seen not as quirks of physics, but as inherent features of the particular mathematical structure our universe embodies. What if consciousness itself is a complex, emergent mathematical structure? What are the profound implications of living in a universe that is fundamentally mathematical? It challenges your intuitive sense of reality as tangible stuff, replacing it with the abstract elegance of numbers and relations. Does it diminish the subjective experience of beauty, love, or suffering if they are ultimately complex mathematical patterns? Or does it elevate them, recognizing them as exquisite manifestations of cosmic order? It suggests that the deepest truths about existence might be discovered not just through observation, but through pure logical and mathematical deduction. it also implies a profound objectivity. Reality is mathematics. Then it exists independently of human minds, and any sufficiently intelligent consciousness would inevitably discover the same mathematical structures, the same laws of physics. Yet, this unsettling truth is also incredibly beautiful and strangely reassuring. It suggests a universe of ultimate order, coherence, and elegance. If reality is a mathematical structure, then it possesses an inherent logic, a fundamental harmony. It implies that the universe is inherently understandable, at least in principle, because its deepest nature is accessible through the universal language of mathematics. What if embracing this mathematical reality allows you to see the hidden patterns, the symmetries, and the deep logic that underlies all phenomena? It encourages a sense of wonder at the precision and beauty of the cosmos, seeing mathematics not as a dry discipline, but as the pulsating heart of existence. So, the next time you marvel at the spirals of a galaxy, the perfect symmetry of a crystal, or even the intricate logic of a computer program, pause and consider that you are looking into the universe's secret language. You are immersed in a reality that is not merely described by mathematics, but is mathematics, alive and unfolding in every dimension. Will you continue to view mathematics as a human tool, or will you allow this unsettling, yet profoundly elegant truth to reshape your understanding of what is truly real, revealing the cosmic equation in every aspect of your life? You've delved into the universe as a grand mathematical construct, a realm where numbers aren't just descriptions, but the very essence of reality. This profound order hints at a deeply interconnected cosmos. But what about the seemingly simple act of seeing? You look up at the night sky, and you perceive distant stars and galaxies as they are now. We assume that the light reaching our eyes provides an instantaneous snapshot of the universe in its current state, a direct window to its present form. But here's a fundamental, yet often overlooked, unsettling truth about light, a glitch that forces us to confront the universe's echoing past. Light does not travel instantaneously. It has a finite speed. This isn't just a trivial scientific detail. It means that every single photon hitting your retina, every piece of visual information you receive, is a message from the past. You are, in a very literal sense, always looking at history. Imagine turning on a light switch in a vast empty warehouse. The light doesn't instantly fill the entire space. It propagates outwards at an incredible, but measurable, speed. Now scale that up to cosmic proportions. The sun you see in the sky isn't the sun as it is right now. It's the sun as it was about 8 minutes ago, because that's how long it takes for its light to travel to Earth. The nearest star system, Alpha Centauri, is about 4.3 light-years away, meaning you are seeing it as it was 4.3 years ago. The Andromeda Galaxy, a majestic spiral galaxy, is 2.5 million light-years distant, so when you gaze upon its luminous swirl, you are witnessing an event that occurred 2.5 million years in your past. When astronomers look at the most distant galaxies through powerful telescopes, they are seeing light that has traveled for billions of years, literally observing the universe as it was shortly after the Big Bang. They are looking back in time, witnessing the universe in its infancy. This means that the present moment you perceive with your eyes is fundamentally a collage of different pasts. You are simultaneously looking at the sun's recent past, a nearby star's slightly older past, and a distant galaxy's ancient past. Your visual reality is a temporal mosaic, a constantly updated historical record. There is no single cosmic now that everything is experiencing simultaneously. Each point in space has its own now, defined by the light that has had time to reach it from other points. The speed of light acts as the ultimate cosmic delay, preserving moments in time and delivering them across vast distances. The light hitting your eyes from the very screen you're reading this on is, technically, from a tiny fraction of a second ago. What are the profound implications of living in a universe where everything you see is a ghost of its former self, an echo from its past? It fundamentally challenges your intuition about simultaneity and the unity of time. Does it mean that the concept of a shared present across the cosmos is an illusion, replaced by a complex network of individual, time-delayed observations? It suggests that the universe is less like a living organism and more like an unimaginably vast, interconnected archive, with light acting as the messenger of its history. What does it mean for your perception of the fleeting now, as we explored in Part 2? If even your most immediate visual input is already history, it means that the universe you perceive is never truly real-time. It's a perpetually updated historical documentary. Yet, this unsettling truth is also incredibly powerful and beautiful. It transforms every glance at the stars into an act of cosmic archaeology. It means that the universe is a living museum, constantly broadcasting its past for us to witness. What if understanding this persistent past of light allows you to appreciate the profound interconnectedness of time and space? Recognizing that the light from a distant star carries with it the story of its journey across eons, it imbues the act of seeing with a profound sense of wonder. Knowing that you are directly engaging with the universe's deep history with every flicker of a photon, it turns the night sky into a vast, unfolding narrative, a visible testament to the universe's epic journey. So, the next time you look at the moon, the sun, or a distant star, pause and remember that you are looking at the past. You are witnessing the echoes of moments that have already transpired, brought to you by the unwavering journey of light. You are a cosmic time traveler, constantly receiving messages from different eras of the universe. Will you continue to perceive your vision as an instantaneous truth, or will you allow this unsettling, yet deeply inspiring, glitch of light to transform your perception into an active engagement with the universe's boundless, echoing past? You've peered into the persistent past delivered by light, realizing that your perception is a collage of cosmic history. This understanding makes the universe feel vast and ancient. But what if the vast, echoing history you perceive with visible light is merely a tiny, luminous facade, concealing a far grander, invisible reality that truly governs the cosmos? You assume that everything you can see, measure, and interact with, the stars, galaxies, planets, and even the empty space now known to be filled with zero-point energy, constitutes the entirety of the universe. We base our understanding of cosmic mechanics on the matter and energy we can detect. But here's the deeply unsettling, almost humbling truth. The vast majority of the universe is utterly invisible and undetectable to us. We're talking about dark matter and dark energy, two mysterious components that collectively make up about 95% of the cosmos, leaving only about 5% for all the ordinary matter and energy that forms everything you've ever known or experienced. It's like trying to understand an iceberg by only looking at the tip that's above water, completely oblivious to the colossal mass hidden beneath. Imagine trying to explain the movement of a merry-go-round. If you only saw a few children on it, but the merry-go-round was spinning much faster than those children alone could make it, you'd know there had to be something else, unseen, providing the extra push. That's precisely the situation with galaxies. When astronomers measure how fast galaxies spin, or how galaxy clusters behave, they find that the visible matter stars, gas, dust, simply isn't enough to hold them together with the gravity it produces. There has to be a massive, invisible gravitational force at play. This missing mass is what we call dark matter. We can't see it. It doesn't emit or absorb light, and it doesn't interact with regular matter in any known way except through gravity. It's the universe's silent, massive scaffolding, providing the gravitational glue that prevents galaxies from flying apart. Without it, the cosmic structures we observe wouldn't exist. Now, imagine something even stranger. Not only is there a colossal amount of invisible matter, but the universe's expansion, instead of slowing down due to gravity, is actually accelerating. It's as if that same merry-go-round is not only spinning faster than expected, but is also inexplicably speeding up all on its own. This mysterious repulsive force, pushing galaxies further apart at an increasing rate, is what we call dark energy. It's thought to be an intrinsic property of space itself, a kind of cosmic anti-gravity that dominates the universe's destiny. We don't know what it is, where it comes from, or why it exists, but its existence is supported by overwhelming observational evidence. What are the profound implications of living in a universe dominated by two unknown, invisible entities? It means that our current understanding of the cosmos, based on the ordinary matter we can detect, is fundamentally incomplete. We are trying to read a book where 95% of the pages are blank. It challenges our anthropocentric view, suggesting that what we consider normal matter is merely a cosmic anomaly, a tiny fraction of the whole. What if these dark components are not just passive forces, but contain forms of existence, or even consciousness, beyond our current comprehension? Could the glitches we've discussed, the fine-tuning of the universe, the odd behavior of gravity at certain scales, the very nature of space-time be deeply interwoven with the properties of dark matter and dark energy, the universe's secret keepers? It forces us to acknowledge a profound humility. Our universe is mostly a mystery to us, even at its most fundamental level. Yet, this unsettling truth is also incredibly exciting. It means that the universe is far richer, far more complex, and holds far more secrets than we ever imagined. The existence of dark matter and dark energy represents the greatest unsolved puzzles in modern cosmology, beckoning us to expand our theories, build new instruments, and fundamentally rethink our models of reality. What if unraveling these enigmas leads to entirely new forms of physics, new understandings of space, time, and gravity, and perhaps even new ways of interacting with the cosmos? It suggests that the boundaries of our knowledge are constantly expanding, and that what seems invisible today might become comprehensible tomorrow. So, the next time you gaze at the shimmering beauty of a galaxy, or contemplate the vastness of space, pause and remember that you are seeing only a tiny fraction of its true reality. You are living in a universe where the visible is merely a thin veil over a colossal, invisible expanse of dark matter and dark energy. The true architects of cosmic structure and destiny. Will you continue to rely solely on what you can perceive, or will you allow this unsettling, yet inspiring, glitch of cosmic invisibility to deepen your wonder and ignite your curiosity about the universe's profound, hidden depths? You've grappled with the unseen forces of dark matter and dark energy, realizing that our perceived cosmos is merely a luminous tip of a colossal, invisible iceberg. This humility forces us to question what else might be lurking in the cosmic shadows. Now, let's confront an unsettling truth that twists our understanding of time and existence into an infinite Mobius strip. The idea of cosmic recurrence, or the possibility that the entire universe, with all its events, every thought you've ever had, every action you've ever taken, will inevitably repeat itself an infinite number of times. You live with the comforting, or sometimes daunting, notion that life is a linear progression, a unique journey from birth to death, with distinct, unrepeatable moments. We believe in the singularity of our experiences, that each now is entirely fresh and novel. But what if this sense of uniqueness is another grand illusion, a comfort designed to shield us from the dizzying implications of an infinitely repeating cosmos? What if, given enough time or enough space, the exact configuration of every particle, every quantum fluctuation, every thought will eventually reoccur, recreating this very moment, this very you, over and over again? This concept, while often philosophical, finds unsettling theoretical grounding in certain interpretations of cosmology, particularly within an infinitely large or eternal universe, and the principles of statistical mechanics. Imagine an infinitely large universe, or one that exists for an infinite amount of time. In such a scenario, if the total number of possible quantum states for a given volume of space is finite, even if astronomically large, then by the laws of probability, every possible configuration of particles, every possible arrangement, must eventually recur. It's like shuffling a finite deck of cards an infinite number of times. Eventually, every possible order of cards will appear, and not just once, but infinitely many times. If the universe is truly infinite in space or time, then there are not just other versions of you making different choices, as in the many worlds interpretation from Part 4. There are identical versions of you, living identical lives, down to the last quantum detail, in distant regions of an infinite cosmos, or in infinitely distant futures of an eternal one. This implies that your entire life story, from the first breath to the last, is a cosmic loop, playing out endlessly. This isn't a glitch in the sense of a malfunction. It's a chilling implication of profound order and finite possibilities within an infinite canvas. It means that the unique experiences you cherish, the decisions you agonize over, the relationships you nurture, all of it has happened before, and will happen again, precisely as it is happening now. It's a universe of ultimate determinism, where every improvisation you believe you're making is simply a replay of an infinitely rehearsed performance. Your entire autobiography is written, not just once, but an infinite number of times across the vastness of existence. What are the profound implications of living in a universe of cosmic recurrence? It challenges the very meaning of individuality and originality. If every moment is infinitely repeatable, does that diminish its preciousness or amplify its timeless significance? It introduces a profound sense of cosmic déjà vu, where every new discovery, every novel invention, is merely a rediscovery, a reinvention. Does it mean that every sorrow you feel has been felt an infinite number of times by identical versions of you, and every joy, every triumph, has echoed through eternity? It can be deeply unsettling, stripping away the sense of being truly unique, truly singular. Yet, there is a strange and powerful liberation in confronting this unsettling truth. If every moment is destined to repeat, then every single experience, no matter how mundane or profound, gains an eternal weight. The beauty of a sunset, the warmth of a loved one's hand, the quiet joy of a simple breath, these are not fleeting moments lost to time, but eternal patterns woven into the very fabric of existence, destined to be re-experienced forever. It transforms the concept of living in the moment from a psychological practice into a cosmic imperative. What if understanding cosmic recurrence allows you to fully embrace and cherish this particular iteration of your life? To pour all your intention and presence into it, knowing that its beauty and significance will resonate through infinite cycles. It imbues every action with a profound, almost sacred importance, for it is not just a moment, but the moment destined to return. So, the next time you feel the passage of time or reflect on a cherished memory, pause and consider that you might be living out a loop that has played and will play an infinite number of times. You are a unique, yet endlessly recurring pattern in the grand tapestry of cosmic time. Will you lament the loss of absolute originality, or will you find a new, profound reverence for the eternal significance of your every fleeting moment, knowing that its echoes reverberate through the boundless expanse of cosmic recurrence? You've faced the dizzying prospect of infinite cosmic recurrence, realizing that your unique life might be an endlessly repeating loop. This concept pushes the boundaries of time and individuality. Now, let's explore an unsettling truth that challenges your fundamental perception of space, suggesting that the 3 dimensions you inhabit are merely a small, visible fraction of a much larger, multidimensional reality, teeming with hidden spaces and perhaps even unseen architects. The possibility of higher spatial dimensions. You intuitively navigate your world in length, width, and height. We are inherently 3-dimensional beings, perceiving and interacting within a seemingly exhaustive 3-dimensional space. The idea of other dimensions feels like abstract mathematics, disconnected from our tangible reality. But what if your familiar 3 dimensions are merely a thin, visible slice of a much grander, multidimensional existence? What if there are additional spatial dimensions, curled up so tightly or existing on such a different scale that we simply cannot perceive them with our current senses or instruments? This is a central tenet of various theories in modern physics, most notably string theory and M-theory, which propose the existence of extraspatial dimensions beyond our common 3, sometimes up to 10 or 11 dimensions in total. Imagine a tightly stretched garden hose. From far away, an ant walking on it would appear to be moving in only 1 dimension forward or backward along the hose. But if you zoom in, the ant can also move around the circumference of the hose, revealing a second, curled-up dimension that was invisible from a distance. Similarly, string theory suggests that at every point in our familiar 3 dimensions, there might be tiny, incredibly tightly curled up extra dimensions, too small to detect with our current technology, but nevertheless fundamental to the universe's structure. Alternatively, some theories propose that these extra dimensions might be vastly larger than our own, but we are stuck on a 3-dimensional membrane, a brain within this larger, multidimensional space, unable to perceive the full extent of the cosmos. Our entire universe, with all its galaxies and structures, could be a single, flat sheet floating within a higher dimensional bulk. This concept radically redefines space itself. It suggests that what you perceive as empty space between objects, or even within the empty space of atoms, as discussed in Part 1, might actually be filled with these unperceived, curled-up dimensions, or with the vast, unperceivable expanse of a higher dimensional bulk. The very forces we experience, like gravity, might behave differently because they are leaking into these extra dimensions, which could explain why gravity is so much weaker than other fundamental forces. These higher dimensions could also be the hidden abodes of dark matter and dark energy. Part 17. providing a more elegant explanation for their elusive nature. What if the universe's mathematical elegance is fully expressed only when considering these extra dimensions? What are the profound implications of living in a universe with hidden dimensions? It means that your perceived reality is extraordinarily limited, a mere shadow cast by a much richer, more complex spatial reality. It challenges the very notion of what contact or distance truly means. If these dimensions exist, then points that seem vastly distant in our 3D space could be incredibly close in a higher dimension. Could this explain phenomena like quantum entanglement, where particles seem to communicate instantaneously over vast distances? What if other forms of consciousness, or even unseen entities, inhabit these higher dimensions, interacting with our world in ways we cannot perceive, acting as silent architects or unseen influences? Could the glitches in our reality be echoes or subtle influences from these unseen realms? Moments when the veil between dimensions momentarily thins. Yet, this unsettling truth is also incredibly awe-inspiring. It suggests that the universe is far more capacious, far more intricate, and far more mysterious than our senses allow us to grasp. It opens up a boundless frontier for exploration, pushing the very limits of scientific inquiry and human imagination. What if understanding these higher dimensions unlocks new forms of energy, new methods of travel, or even new pathways to consciousness? It encourages a profound sense of wonder about the unseen, knowing that there's an unimaginable richness to reality just beyond our current grasp. So, the next time you gaze at the seemingly empty space around you, or ponder the vastness of the cosmos, pause and consider that you are merely seeing the tip of a multidimensional iceberg. You are immersed in a reality that likely contains hidden spatial dimensions, silent architects that shape the very fabric of existence. Will you continue to confine your understanding to the familiar three, or will you allow this unsettling, yet profoundly expansive, glitch of hidden dimensions to transform your perception of space into a boundless realm of unseen possibilities? You've journeyed through the phantom dimensions, sensing the vast, unseen architecture that might underpin our reality. Each step has been a profound revelation, expanding your perception of existence far beyond the familiar. Now, let's end our journey with perhaps the most existentially unsettling truth of all, one that strikes at the heart of our place in the universe, the Fermi paradox, and the chilling possibility of cosmic loneliness. You look up at the seemingly infinite expanse of stars, knowing that our galaxy alone contains hundreds of billions of them, and the universe, countless billions of galaxies. We instinctively feel a profound sense of potential, a belief that life, and indeed intelligent life, must be abundant out there, thriving on countless worlds. The sheer scale of the cosmos seems to demand companionship, but here is the profound, silent glitch in that expectation. If intelligent life is common in the universe, then where is everybody? This is the essence of the Fermi paradox. Given the immense number of stars, the vast timescales involved in cosmic evolution, and the likelihood of Earth-like planets, it seems statistically improbable that we haven't encountered any definitive evidence of other advanced civilizations. The silence is deafening. Imagine standing on a bustling city street, filled with millions of people, yet hearing absolutely no sound, no voices, no cars, no music, just an eerie, unnatural silence. That's the cosmic silence we observe if civilizations arise, expand, and perhaps even colonize their galaxies, as ours might one day do, even at speeds far below the speed of light. They should have spread across the Milky Way within a relatively short period of cosmic history, a few tens of millions of years, a blink of an eye, compared to the galaxy's age of billions of years. Evidence of their existence, such as radio signals, megastructures, or even signs of their waste heat, should be detectable. Yet, despite decades of searching with powerful telescopes and radio arrays like SETI, we've found nothing. Just profound, echoing silence. This paradox suggests one of several deeply unsettling possibilities. Perhaps intelligent life is incredibly rare, a cosmic fluke that occurred only once, here on Earth. Or perhaps advanced civilizations inevitably destroy themselves, succumbing to technological hubris, environmental collapse, or internecine conflict before they can spread far into the galaxy, a chilling mirror of our own anxieties. This great filter might lie in our past, making our existence a miracle, or more terrifyingly, it might lie in our future, an insurmountable barrier that all advanced civilizations eventually face. Another possibility is that they are out there, but they are so fundamentally different from us in their nature, their communication, or their very form of existence, perhaps inhabiting higher dimensions, or existing as purely mathematical or consciousness-based entities that we simply cannot detect them, or, most chillingly, perhaps they know we are here and have chosen to remain silent, either out of cosmic indifference, a zoo hypothesis where we are observed but not contacted, or a fear of what might happen if contact is made. What are the profound implications of this pervasive cosmic silence? It challenges our anthropocentric view in a new way, not by diminishing our physical scale, but by questioning our cosmic significance. Does it mean that the universe is fundamentally lonely, and that our consciousness, our struggle, our triumphs, are perhaps unique and unrepeated? It forces us to confront our own fragility as a species. If there's a great filter ahead, does that imbue our current challenges, climate change, nuclear proliferation, AI ethics, with an even greater existential urgency? It strips away the comforting thought of cosmic neighbors, leaving us to wrestle with the profound responsibility of being the sole custodians of complex life, or at least the only ones we can find. Yet, this unsettling truth is also profoundly empowering. If we are indeed alone, or among the very few, then our existence gains an almost unimaginable preciousness. Our planet, our lives, our consciousness become a cosmic rarity, a singular beacon of complexity and self-awareness in a vast, silent ocean. This isn't a reason for despair. It's a powerful call to cherish, protect, and value the life that we know. What if the silence means that the responsibility for intelligence, for consciousness, for the continued unfolding of complex awareness in this corner of the cosmos rests squarely and uniquely on our shoulders? It imbues every action, every effort towards understanding, compassion, and sustainability with an incredible cosmic significance. It urges us to look inward, to find meaning and purpose, not in external validation from alien civilizations, but in the profound miracle of our own improbable existence. So, the next time you gaze up at the starlit night, feeling the immense scale of the cosmos, pause and listen, not just for what is there, but for the profound silence that permeates it. You are experiencing the Fermi paradox, the universe's ultimate existential glitch. Will you allow this silence to breed fear and resignation, or will you embrace the unsettling, yet profoundly empowering possibility that your brief, conscious existence on this tiny, vibrant planet is a uniquely precious, cosmic responsibility, a solitary flame burning brightly in the vast, echoing darkness? The glitched reality continues, inviting your awe, challenging your assumptions, and demanding your ongoing wonder. The journey is far from over.